Hi, everyone. We were blessed with a special guest. Both of them happen to be uh, in the military. They're military men. So we're going to have a very interesting talk today. And it's going to be about prepping because um, September was nominated as National Prepper Month. And so that's what we're going to be talking about. So I'm still kind of setting up there. I'm kind of still setting up, but it's okay, you know.
Yeah, definitely
And
nothing wrong with that.
our special guest is Off the Wall Prepper. He knows some stuff, wonderful stuff about prepping. If you've not checked his channel out, please do so because you will learn how to do things on the quote unquote, like he calls it, and I love it because it's how I do it too, on the cheap, you know.
Yeah, yeah. My thing is, what is she up to now? Is that, and everybody that's here, hi. Um, there's so many ways that we can prepare, not only for SHTF, and I kind of don't go there because I'm not a doomer and gloomer, um, but an extreme weather condition or a blizzard, a hurricane, that you have to evacuate your home. And there's so many things that we can do, especially for the extreme weather conditions where you get stuck in your home and you may not have electrical. You may not have, if you don't have electrical and you're on city water or well water, you don't have water. So, one big thing that we've done here in the Ozarks is that I have three different water catch systems going now. Um, Off of a metal roof that's 1,000 square feet, with 1 inch of rain, you collect about 600 gallons of rain per hour. So you can fill up tanks very quickly if it's done right. And that's really important to us here in the Ozarks because of that, that situation, because we're not on well water. Once a month, I do get water, potable city water hauled in for my big tank. But then I started thinking, what? Last year we had a power outage, and because of where we are in the Mark Twain Forest, we sit right on the edge of it. Uh, it took them a while to get us power restored. So I was like, it's not a good thing to be without water. So we did this gutter system on our roofs. I have 55-gallon barrels. I have a 275 that's for my garden, and I call that my dirty runoff because all I do is take off the lid and whatever water goes in there, we use it for our garden. But then also I have IBC totes, and those IBC totes, we were blessed. One of them was given to us, and then the other one, a lady went to Kentucky, and we got that one for $100, and they usually sell for about 300 to 400 down here in this area in the stores. And that was a brand new clean one that was only used for agave syrup. So water is really, really important for survival. Food, water, shelter, your heat, and how to keep cool if it's cold or hot outside. You have to be able to control those things.
Yeah, those are important things, and you know, we got lucky. I found some really good uh, American-made um, sleeping bags. They're for 60 and to 80 below zero temperatures, and man, I was glad I got them last year. They're a high price. Hey,
Yeah,
there's Mrs. Dragonfly,
yeah. That's my better half.
the sexy lady herself.
Yeah. So no, but there's so many things, and like I'm expanding on my series for prepping on the cheap. And the main reason I did this series, honestly, is because there's so many people that have been reaching out to me that are elderly, or they're disabled, or they're on a very, very limited budget, and they're like, I can't afford a Berkey, and I can't afford this. But there's so many ways you can recycle things around your home that actually become a prep. And see, I don't look at it as prepping, kind of the same lifestyle. You're in Iowa. When I was a kid, my grandmother had a beautiful garden. God rest her soul, but she couldn't cook. Okay. But she could grow plants and vegetables and fruit like crazy. And it's a lifestyle. And if you start thinking about that, you're not really prepping, you're just living life and enjoying the great outdoors and doing things every day to make things better in case something would happen.
Yeah. I yeah, in fact, Dragonfly, my water system purification, it is made out of plastic buckets, and they're white. They sit on my counter because that's what I could afford. I got filters with a spigot off of Amazon, had the holes drilled in it, put it together. Um, I pretend pretend prep the water filters, put it together, and it's worked great. And
Yeah,
that's
and
what we
water,
drink our water out of.
and it's so important, to have those ideas to be able to do a water system like this week. And you'll have to come over and check it out on my channel. I'm almost done editing the video, but it's 10 to 12 places to get water that you probably have never imagined. If you ran out, if your water got turned off, you've ran out of water resources and it's not being turned on for an extended period. So this video is, I think it's going to be very captivating for people to think out of the box, off the wall when it comes to water. And I can't wait to get this video done. I've been working on it since last week.
I can't wait to watch it. And I'm being honest about that one.
Yeah,
Because
well, I think,
we look forward to your videos. We check them out all the time. So,
well, thank you. I mean, I enjoy it, and I think my whole goal with my channel is that if I can reach one person every day and open their eyes to that, if some type of scenario happens, to be prepared. It's so important, especially with the way the world's turning. We need to stay prepared, and we need to stay prepared because fall and winter's coming. And
right.
my family's up there by you. Most of my family, my mother is in southeast Nebraska, over
Oh,
near
wow.
yeah, over near Nebraska City.
Wow. That's not that far away.
Yeah, and then my other brothers and sisters, most of them are in Colorado, and I have one out in Washington.
Dang. I hope they got those sleeping pigs like I've got for them. They're going to need them.
Oh, my
Hi,
sister
Christy
out in
Sue.
Hi everybody. My sister out in Washington, she's very prepared. She homeschools her children. They have a regular home in city limits, but then they actually built with the whole family. She has 4 kids and her husband. They actually built their own cabin, and they've done some pretty awesome things. It took them about 6 years to build this cabin, but it is absolutely stunning. And the things they put into it is basically all off the land.
Yeah, it's like the one video where I took and I gathered dandelion greens and I cut them into strips and then I laid them on a cookie sheet, air dried them.
Yeah, and that's
Can't get
some.
any cheaper than that. And you'd be surprised. You could do that with lettuce that you grow out of the yard. Um,
Mhm.
there's all kinds of things that you can air dry that way. Now, for the other stuff, I use my uh, dehydrators. I've got two of them, and the newest one it takes 250 watts to run. Okay, but the old one it only takes 120. Okay, or
Let's
it's like
touch on
225. What, sweetie?
something. Also that you go by JT, right?
Yeah.
Okay. There's also a button where you can highlight people's comments, and I believe his name is George regarding water, and he said his water tastes nasty.
Yeah,
Do
it
you see
does
that
out in
comment?
Uma. Out in Uma.
Yeah, yeah. So if you click on that, JT, that will come up on the bottom of the screen for your viewers to see.
Like that?
Right. Yes.
Oh, wow. You're
So
better at this one than I am.
it took some practice, trust me. But I wanted to touch on that subject that it still tastes nasty. There's a couple things. One, military wise, uh, you can get a small bottle of iodine, and this is very survival. You can take 3 drops to a quart. Okay. Also, if you go to my channel, there's a link in my description. My channel, I just became an affiliate for My Patriot Supply. And if you are going to buy something, please go to my channel and help me because I get a small, you know, commission or whatever for doing it. But they have a really neat thing. It's called Alexa Pure, and that if you'll give me just a minute, I'll go and grab it so I can show everybody. But some easy, low cost ways to filter that water and make it taste better, George. One is to get a thing of activated charcoal and run your water through the activated charcoal. That's really the cheap way. Okay. I'm going to go grab this and show it to you. It's really neat. Hold on 1 minute. Well, yeah.
Like I said, this guy, he's got a lot of information, and
Okay.
he
Go ahead, JT.
and he talks about prepping on levels of no matter what your income is, you can still afford to do it.
So here's one of them. This is. Can you all see it? I'm so bad with. There it is. And you see the top. Now I'm gonna pull it apart so that y'all can really see it. This is really neat. You can actually take this bottle, and I'm gonna do a demo on my channel. I'm gonna go drink out of the nastiest, ugly mud puddle that you can find. That's how much faith I have in this. So at the bottom of it, see this canister? So that canister has 4 layers of filtration. So you can actually, I can go and stick this in the muddiest water ever, and it's going to take out pathogens. And that's what's really important if you're going to get rainwater or anything like that, because if you don't get the pathogens out, you will end up with the worst gut ache in the world. And then in return of gut ache, let's speak a little bit, you're going to get, gastrical problems and stomach issues. It can cause you dehydration and all other types of things. So this is really neat. And it wasn't very expensive. This one I believe was around $15, but it's worth it. If you have to get out of your location, or even if you're hiking and you run out of water, but you have this in your pack, you can get water from anywhere. So this is really important. Now this is the big one. Here's the other one. This is the big one. Same type of system. Can y'all see it?
Mm-hmm.
So this one is a big one that you can put in your fridge. The cool thing about that, and just so that I'm giving accurate information, I don't like to give anybody. It reduces 99% of harmful contaminants, lead, arsenic. Did you hear that? Arsenic, heavy metals, PCBs, pesticides, mercury, chlorine, radon 222, and VOCs and THMs. So I mean this system right here, and then this runs about right around $35, but it holds 8 cups or half a gallon, and once you put it through the filter in that system, it's good up to 60 days without changing or doing anything, or 80 gallons of water. So and the other cool thing that I want to show real quick, and I'm a big supporter of this. Let me see. I got to get to the right spot. See that right there?
Made
Made,
in America.
made in the USA. Every single product. and that's important. That I
Right.
mean, I can't even stress how important that is. That's you know, so I think that's really cool. This one I absolutely love. I love this thing. And I am having just a little hint. If you watch the video today on my channel, it's the introduction. I'm really, really close to, well, I'm way over 1,000 subscribers in 2 weeks, but
Wow,
I'm really, really close.
congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. It, like I said, it's about my subscribers. It's about the message.
Right.
But I'm almost to 4,000 watch hours, which once I hit that, and I'm hoping by tomorrow that that's going to open up other doors for me on my YouTube channel. As you progress and get more subscribers and more hours, it opens up different doors. So if you everybody that's here, if you could do me a huge favor, if you could subscribe, if you could share the heck out of my videos, share them on your own YouTube, share them on your Facebook, whatever, help me out because I'm like that close. But this is really cool, and I am going to have these featured in that 10 ways video where to find water, and then I'm going to show you that I'm not kidding. I'm going to drink out of a mud puddle.
Well, that's awesome.
I figured you might. I think people will get a kick out of seeing me go down to a mud puddle and slurp out of it. You know.
Well, I don't know. I watched a little boy this morning on a video, and he seen a puddle, and he kind of snuck up on the puddle, and then he walked around in it.
Oh no, that's not what I used to do. I used to jump right in the middle of them
Well,
and try to get, yeah, try to get everybody around me wet.
he was 2 years old, and he's still real cautious. So,
George.
George is on city water.
Yeah, so George, you need to be prepared because if power goes down, you're not going to have water pumped into your house. So that video probably will be done tomorrow night. And I seen his other comment, George. I think I don't. They're up by no, that's my cousin in Alaska. They're by Kennewick, Kennewick, Washington. Is God's Night on here?
Yeah, he's here. He's just being quiet. He's letting you see. He's a
Yeah,
There
exactly. I was just letting the man speak until he's pretty much done.
right. That's how we are. We have manners here. But
That's a nice change. I've been in somewhere it's just terrible. So I think I'd like to hear from God's Night. I'd like to get to know him.
right hand
I mean,
man.
yeah, JT pretty much explained it. I'm very quiet unless I have something to contribute. But yeah, I mean, I also serve. I'm a Marine. I'm in California. One of the shittier states in the nation. Um, yeah, I recently started. Well, it hasn't been recent, but I mean, I've kind of increased. Um, I guess you could say prepping as well. I got a lot of canned goods, stuff like that, stuff that's pretty much cheap and easy to get. And I've talked about it before. I also got silver, but not for the real reasons of it may have monetary value later on. But there's a lot you can do with silver. And if you're careful and you have nitric acid, you can make silver nitrate, which goes a long way with certain things. It could be medicinal. It has different uses. Yeah, and also done the same thing with water purification. I have a water preserver in case I decide to start storing water if I have to move out of here and relocate. I also have chlorine and iodine tablets for water. Um, yeah, I mean it's like JT says when we talk about it. It's a lifestyle and it's also a way of preparing for whatever scenarios come along. Power out, like you're saying, we've talked about me and JT power outages, natural disasters like here in California, earthquakes or fires. I mean, we have Two of the worst disasters out here is fires and earthquakes. Rarely any kind of flooding. Rarely any kind of flooding unless you live out in the desert, the high desert. Uh, but yeah, I mean, surviving is a way of life. We're surviving every day. It's not just prepping and homesteading. It's surviving. It's preparing for the worst case scenarios.
Sorry, I was busy doing something. I'm trying to be a helpful person here. I'm just kind of messing up doing my helpfulness. But yeah, this month was National Preparedness Month, and it was declared that a couple years ago, which is why this subject is such a good subject no matter what. It's a good subject to have because you're going to need to know how to do old fashioned skills if something would happen to where you didn't have electricity so you could still function. Um, you're going to need to know how to forage to find food and other things, because there isn't going to be any just going down the street to the local store because stores might not um have the ability to get supplies in. And yeah, save juice bottles, you know. You wash them out, let them air dry, and you fill water in them. They won't leak as bad. Your milk jugs, you have to watch them. They might spring a leak in the seams on them. Because that's how we do it, you know.
Yeah, that's what dragonflies does too. Is that we save our juice bottles because those can be that emergency water supply. And also, people need to think about sanitation. When we were a little background, other than I was in the Navy, is that we traveled on an RV for 7 years, and I'm going to be doing some videos on that too for the traveling people because we realized that a lot of things that people think are necessary are really not, and we realized what's important. It really was a grounding experience for us being in that lifestyle for the almost 7 years that we were before we got laid off last March when we all know what happened then. But we managed a campground in Florida, and I learned a lot of snake identification, and that's really important. Being prepared for your first aid as well. A lot of people don't. Um, I think first aid is really important. I have a super long video on my channel about first aid. I call where we live Snake Mountain, and we have a lot of copperheads up here. Well, they're one of the most venomous snakes ever. So, and I've had a close call with a rattlesnake, and I kind of go into that story on my video too about what happened. But so you need to be prepared in the first aid area as well. And people go watch my video, and I got a lot of responses and emails, and they were like, "My gosh, I could never afford to spend that kind of money on first aid." But like what God's Knight said, and what you've said, it's a way of life. And so we didn't go out and purchase all what we have in our first aid kit overnight or anything else. um, you do little things every day to prepare and kind of make a list of what maybe you're lacking in. I'm definitely going to have to watch your video about the dandelions because my great grandmother used to make dandelion jelly. And I think though what you were showing is you can actually eat the dandelions, correct?
Everything to a dandelion is edible.
Yeah.
You take the roots, believe it or not, you dig them up and you put them on a cookie sheet, let them air dry. And then you take and you cut them up and you can make tea with the roots. And the rest of it you can eat. You can use it for jams, jellies, salads, you know. Um, it's all good for you.
Yeah, that's one
Unless
thing.
unless you are allergic to it.
Right, right. That's one thing we were super excited when we moved here to the Ozarks. We have wild onions, and then one whole side where the forest is all wild blackberries. And then coming up our long road is wild blackberries. We could eat and share blackberries forever. And then, of course, we have walnuts and pecan trees too. My goal is to have an orchard. I'd like to have apples, my own apples, and at least peaches.
Yeah, I rent where we live in. I'd love to, but I'm not going to help somebody who forgets to take care of his own place. I'm not going to build up the value of his property. But that's okay.
Yeah. Well, I can't stay on much longer. Um,
That's
we
okay. We can do this again if you want.
I would love
If
to
we have more
just
time.
shoot. Yeah, I would love to shoot me an email. Um, I'm just it's the weather has cooled off here, and I try to keep 2 acres mowed back because otherwise the forest really comes in around us. And when that happens, I start seeing snakes. Well, with this time of the year, we have 2 small dogs, and so and for myself and dragonflies, I just don't want to see snakes up near or around our cabin. So
Yeah.
I mowed about an acre yesterday, and it takes me a couple hours due to the terrain here. It's very rocky, so I have to be very careful how I'm mowing it, and it doesn't. I mean, we have some beautiful grass patches, but I have some serious hills, and I also have some serious rocks that just keep appearing. So I got to be very careful and take my time when I'm mowing out there.
Right. You be very careful while you're doing that too. You know. Um Christy Sue Robbins gave you a compliment. She said, "Nice listening to you off the wall prepper."
Hit your button, and then you'll get used to it. Remember that? Just hit their comment, and that's kind of a fun thing to do. Also, JT, during your lives, is when somebody brings up a good topic that you'd all like to talk about. Just hit their comment, and yeah, it's just like that, and then you can leave it up there. Thank you very much, Christy Sue. I hope you come over and check out the channel. Like I said,
Well,
I'm right at that tipping point, JT. So anything y'all can do to help me out, turn on my
um
playlist and let it run today.
uh we're not going I'm going to tell you this, but I'm not saying it so you get a big head. But Mrs. Dragonfly, you've got to be the most happiest woman in the world because you're married to someone that looks like Nick Nolte. We took a vote at this house. Okay, just saying. And no, he's never heard me say that, but yeah, Custom Hood see me put it in the chat room the other day,
That's
and
great.
you know, we're just we that's what we call you instead of off the wall preppers. Oh, Nick Nolte Jr.'s on. We gotta watch. Stop everything. The world stops. You know.
I'm gonna take that and run with it, JT. I'm gonna do a special video for you this week, okay? You know what,
So
everyone? JT, thank you for having me.
thank you
Reach
for
out.
being on.
Oh yeah, I mean, I love this community. I love the people, and that's that's from Nick Nolte to you ladies, okay? I love what I do, and I love people, and I've always been that way. My mom, she used to worry about me because she always said I didn't know a stranger. So, you know, I'll tell you a real quick funny story, and then I'm getting off here. My grandparents used to take us to the most beautiful place up in South Dakota every year. So one year, my grandmother's looking for me, and my granddad said, I know. Let's go find them." And so here they come, and I'm sitting in the teepee, literally, with the tribal kids, and they couldn't find me for nothing.
Oh,
That's just
I
who I am.
I do know because when I was real little, we went to South Dakota and there was this lake that we were camping at, and I'm down at the lake and I'm talking, but there ain't nobody around me. And they came up, the adults came up to me and they says, "Who are you talking to?" I says, "I'm talking to the people in the woods." And they looked and they didn't see nobody. They're like, "Oh, this kid's just being, pretending." And I kept doing it and I kept doing it. Finally, the forest ranger came along and they said, "She's pretending. Don't pay attention to her, because I'm a little fart." And he said, "No, she really is talking to the people in the woods." And they went, "What?" Because they were
Yeah.
talking to me. So I was
Well, and
responding.
that, I mean, I think I gave my grandparents a run for the money because every year that was something very special when they were alive that they used to take us up there. And I used to always pull something on them, and we had a good time. My grandfather was the most gentle giant that you ever met. He was just a man of God and honor, and taught us a lot of stuff about fishing and being self-sufficient. And I
Oh,
think
yeah.
that's really important to people. We've gotten too comfortable. We can run to the store, or we can not cook dinner for ourselves. And honestly, folks, get away from the fast food. If you feel like going to Mickey D's or Burger King, and I have no problem with that, but that costs you $10 or $15. You can go to Dollar Tree and get yourself 10 or 15 preps for that same money, and actually have something tangible that could help you in your future. So, God bless from here in the Ozarks. JT, God's night. Thank you for having me on, JT. And nice meeting everyone. And thanks for the nice compliment. Now I'm going to make you a special funny video this week.
You and Dragonfly are welcome to come on anytime you want. And Mrs. Dragonfly, you are the luckiest woman in the world to have somebody as good looking as your husband. I mean this in a good way, not a flirtatious way, okay? Because marriage is a very important thing in my books. So,
Yeah, it definitely is. And when you find your soulmate, you better hold on tight.
yeah, I lost mine.
Yeah, I'm sorry
So,
to hear that.
no,
But
it's okay. But
though every day is precious. I lost my
that's
father.
why that's why marriage, and it was marriage was really important to him too. But that's why um somebody tries to say, "Well, you're putting the moves on." No, I'm not putting moves on anybody, because your marriage is so sacred. There ain't words for it, you know.
Exactly.
Oh, her
Exactly.
name's
Christina.
Christina.
Yes.
Yeah,
All right.
except for
Well,
she forgets the H. Cool. All
yeah, just
right.
shoot me an email when your next one is. I would love to come back on, JT, and maybe I can figure out something special to do, some kind of demonstration or something. I'm making some really cool stuff. Like right now, I'm making belts, and I make them out of tire treads. So I recycle and reuse everything. So God bless from here in the Ozarks. Everyone have a beautiful Sunday, and let me get mowing.
All right. You be safe, and we'll talk
Just be
soon.
hanging out after that.
All
It's
right,
good
nice
meeting
meeting you. Got nice meeting you too, sir. You all have a good day.
you. You too.
That was beautiful. You know, I like talking and listening. I watch all his videos. You know, um, but okay, guys. I know you wanted to talk about military books for the you know.
Not really. It was just the subject. Just
Well,
something that came.
it's
Yeah,
just
well, like we were talking about, military field guides and whatnot. They teach you a lot about surviving out in the field,
yeah,
out in in your environment,
and
or
not only
environment
that,
that you choose to live in.
they they cover all the areas,
Yep.
all the terrains. You know,
Training such as first aid, how to treat certain wounds, especially if they're inflicted by an animal of some kind, or you happen to slip and fall down several feet. As best as you can, to take care of yourself. That's why you never go alone either.
right? They're very helpful books. They're very useful books to have, and like any book, any video, you have to practice. So you you get it down good, and you practice until it comes So it becomes second nature to you. So that
Yes.
way you're not trying to fumble through the pages or, oh, crackers, my laptop's not working. We have no internet and I can't watch them videos that I was watching, you know, to walk me through whatever it is I'm doing. Yes, uh, um, Dragonfly, you're right. We can learn a lot from the military. Hello, Vax. How you doing?
Maybe so Vex. Yeah, like I was saying, that's why like Vex too, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. Silver is important, and not just its value or its monetary value. It has medicinal uses. I mean,
Yes,
like I said, you can make silver nitrate with nitric acid, and all you got to do is filter the silver out. What it does is breaks down the silver into microscopic particles. That's all you're doing. Then you can apply that silver its medicinal uses or whatever you want to do with it. It's up to you. You can also make medicinal silver at home. Before shit hits the fan, before you lose power, you just got to make a 0.999 silver, which is medicinal silver, medical silver, which that's four nines, decimal and four nines after that. That's your medical silver. Your pure silver is decimal three nines. I
right.
mean, but as long as you break down the silver and you get it into you in small particles, your body will do the rest.
And I mean, I like the military information because um it don't matter if you're like in the desert or in the hills or in the mountains, whatever. They tell you how to live and survive in the element that you are in, and you'd be surprised they'll teach you how to forage for stuff you didn't expect. Well, good, Vex. I'm glad you got your bottle of water there, buddy. But I've been messing with air drying. It's a technique that I've done for years for things. Um, I'm dealing with two food dehydrators. We're gonna get them both rocking before long. And I did find something out. Um, the the night, and I'm pretty sure the Baxter generators, solar generators, they're not strong enough to handle the modern food dehydrators because the modern ones are like 220s for voltage, and my old one is only a 120, and I can use them to run the old one. Um, so if you get a solar generator, you have to sit down and think all the wattage that everything you have that you use works. Because I told the companies right out, people aren't just buying these things to go camping and charge their phone to run a laptop. They're buying them to use in their homes, you know. And all you say is it's good for this and good for that. But what about running your refrigerator? If you got energy efficient refrigerator or deep freezer, they only run like 4 times the whole day. That's it. If you don't eat them all the time, you know. I gotta mute quick.
Yeah, that's like off the wall was saying. There's a difference between buying or getting something that's essential and you can use it for that rather than getting something that you don't really need for anything and then use it for those reasons. Like you said just now, there's solar generators and you got to figure out which ones are going to run more efficiently versus buying something super expensive that may not even run properly compared to something that is relatively less cheaper but can handle what you're going to use it for.
Yeah. Um, I've also been. You gotta watch also when it comes to the generators because some of them, like the Paxter, you gotta charge it, and then when it's full, you can unplug it from the solar panel because if you go to use it when it's charging, you can only use it for your phones and your laptops. Okay. um. Now the King, you can use it while it's charging, which is really cool. So you gotta watch stuff like that too on them things. And another thing we had um connectors, the cords for things. You gotta watch them because that's why I wasn't able to use my solar fans that I'd gotten. The connectors for 'em, the extension cord. The connectors are good, but the cords were messed up. So I've got new cords coming for my fans, which is a good thing, you know, because you're gonna want to be able to keep cool, you know. Um, when it comes to prepping, you want to be able to make sure that you can use something in more ways than one, you know. Um, and grandmas, great grandmas, great grandmas to some of y'all, depending on how old you are, um, they would dehydrate. Even though they didn't have dehydrators, they would use a little box on their wood stove and put a little bit of glass of water in it, and they would dehydrate the food that way. Um, and they did their canning, and they salted their meat. And if you cook your meat all the way through before you can still can it. Okay. Um, as long as your meat is all the way cooked, you could get away with water bathing because when I say great grandmas, they didn't have the pressure cans. Most of them that they had in the early 1900s, they blew up on people. People got really hurt bad with them. So you know, you have to be very careful. You have to be able to stand right at your stove when you're canning anything because the pressure canner can, you know, it's got a lot of pressure to it. That's all I'm saying. So, you know, they used to salt the meat. Um, it took a lot of salt too to salt that meat, and then they had to wash the meat off to get the salt out of it, so you could handle eating it. There's and seed saving. When you grow something in a garden or you buy something in the store, yeah, I know. Chances are it's GMO, but if you plant it and you save the seeds and then you replant it, you take out the GMO out of it, the seed. But if you got non-GMO seeds and you save your seeds, guess what? You end up not having to buy those seeds next year when you go to plant, you know? And this is all stuff as Mr. Off the Wall Prepper calls it, prepping on the cheap. So yeah, not everybody's got a lot of money for this, that, and the other, you know. So we got to do it the way we can do it.
Yeah, buy it little by little. That's what I did. I didn't buy everything I have all at once because I didn't have the money for it.
Right.
To me, it was just bit by bit, step by step. That's what it is. And people are always under the assumption that they have to buy everything all at once. And
Yeah. No,
off
you
the wall,
can't.
off the wall
Um.
was correct too. Like my first aid stuff, it was all little by little. First aid. I have several different sizes of first aid kits. So if I have to go out, I'm not gonna carry a 300-piece med kit with me. I'm gonna have like a travel size one or a pocket size one. Whatever occasion you need it for.
Right. And that's why I've done this for years, and I've always done what I could with what I had. You know. And even if you do one can, You buy one can to eat for now, one can to eat for later. That one can trick adds up fast. One bag. One bag of rice for now, one bag of rice for later. It adds up fast, you know. Um, Beans, whatever, you know.
Beans and
Do
rice
one for
go a
now,
long
one for
way.
later. And not
Beans
only
and rice
that,
go a long way.
oh yeah, go to the dollar store or Dollar Tree, whatever. I know they got one of each where everything's only $1, and uh, it gets even cheaper to buy your stuff. You know.
Yeah, unless you have a Costco or some big box store discount, whatever you pay into, and buy it in bulk. If you have the money, buy it in bulk and store it the best way you can. Try because there's a lot of ways to store things long term. There is.
Oh
It's just
yeah,
gotta research. That's what it really comes down to. Not just money, but research and knowledge.
you
Those are
can
just as essential as having the food itself.
you can take and you don't always have to have Mylar bags. You know. Um, Watch your pills, and you can use plastic pills. You know, if you gotta make sure you don't have any mice or whatever. Watch your pills naturally, anyhow, to make sure nothing, no bugs or anything. Like flour, you can put bay leaves in it, and you won't get the mice, and you won't get bugs in in your flour either, and your flour won't taste like bay leaves. It's a good way to your flour. But even back in the old days, that's why they had the sifters in case your flour had bugs in it. You could sift the bugs out and still be able to use your flour, and it make you sick because back then, during the Great Depression, um, those kids that were born in the Great Depression, they're now in their 80s, okay, and we're talking the ones that were little bitty farts and babies born. Um, they're passing away, you know, and
Yeah, bird. Green bird.
um, so they didn't really realize what it was like until they got older going through it. But their moms, their grandmas and grandpas, you know, they knew. So, um, you wanna make sure that they didn't throw anything, they didn't waste anything, but they made things last, and they kept using things until even like the kids' clothes, you know, lady's name.
They said he looked like Nick Nolte.
Oh, what's the
No,
OTMWP?
off the wall prepper.
Okay. The ladies' names? Well, Mrs. Dragonfly. It's me and my daughter. We just, first time we saw your husband, we said that.
And the other Christina.
Yeah, and that's Christy that was in here, Christy Sue. Yeah, that's my daughter. So, no, there's two Christinas in there, George. One goes by Christy Sue, and the other one um is Dragonfly. Her initials. So,
CSR.
that's Christy Sue Robbins. But don't worry, she's clear up here with me. We do not have a car. Your husband's safe.
Like
And not only
mice.
that, we like you guys. We follow both of your channels. So you don't have to worry. Nobody around here in this house is a threat of any kind.
You did look like Nick Nolte that day.
But
Yeah,
we
another thing,
meant it in a
Dragon.
compliment way towards both of you. So you don't have to worry, hon.
Another reason why your silver soul is expensive, Dragonfly, is because silver is about $25, $26 right now, and that's just spot. Um, so if you're gonna buy a pre-made, I mean, you're buying something that's already made for you. So of course it's gonna be expensive. But the great thing, I have a question about that. How much? What's the PPI for your silver soul. You know, how many parts per million or ppm? I mean ppm, yeah, parts per million. Because that also determines how expensive your silver soul is. Because anything above 5 ppm is going to cost you more because it's just they're putting more silver content into it, which makes it more expensive. There's some silver souls that are 3 ppm, 5 ppm, 7 ppm. It goes on to like 20, 25 ppm. And then you gotta measure the dosage, I guess, to because if you intake too much silver, it's not good for you. It's gonna give you some weird side effects. That's the only reason why silver salt is expensive. Is because it contains silver, and silver is roughly
I
$26
can't reach
American
for that one foot.
per ounce. Okay. So
Oh,
on the label, nowhere it doesn't say. Just look for anything that says ppm. That's parts per million. It
yeah,
may
I've
be
got
on.
a,
It should be on there because they have to put that on there if they're gonna make stuff like that.
I've got to get us some because it helps with illnesses and stuff. You know.
Yeah, our bodies are made up of all kinds of minerals: silver, copper, iron, zinc, magnesium, manganese, all kinds of whatever the earth is made up is pretty much what we're made of. And especially, let's go to the kind of the Christianity side, but not being too religious about it. Is supposedly we're made from the earth, from the clay, the mud, the,
The ground.
the ground, the terrain, the dirt,
Yeah.
the materials of the earth. So I mean, there you go. I mean, our blood dries up and essentially turns into an iron powder. That's pretty much what happens to our blood when it dries up. All the oxygen leaves it, all the water leaves it, and essentially it turns into an iron dust, like rust. Because rust still contains iron, it's just oxidized iron, but it's still
Well,
iron.
ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Right.
You know, we
Yeah,
turn to ashes and we turn back to dust.
yeah, 10 ppm is good. So yeah, that's pretty good.
And I snuck outside on the front porch. Wasn't counting. Yeah, I should have remembered the one neighbor. This is the only day he gets to mow his lawn. But it's okay. It'll work out. Of the earth and of the universe and of all God. Right, Vex.
Yeah,
You got it.
yeah, we're
But
all created from the same material. Like like Vexen is talking about, our minds aren't really part of something physical. It's more metaphysical, like the universe itself, synapses and all this stuff. That's to me, yeah. I kind of see the brain as that way. It's more celestial, more yeah, celestial. It's not really a physical thing.
and another thing, being able to sew, comes in handy to know how to do. And if you have a sewing machine and it's from 1975 older, you can still use that sewing machine even without electricity. Operate it by hand. It will work. So,
Yeah, that 10 ppm will go a long way, Dragonfly. Because the more ppm, the more silver inside of it, the less you have to drink. So you can just drink less and not really go through it. 10 ppm is good. That's really good, actually.
so when it comes to prepping, you're not just just for food, but tools. Manual tools. Um, because if you don't have electricity and you have a gas generator and you can't get the gas for the generator, and that generator operates your tools, manual manual tools, you know, um, manual kitchen gadgets. They're all good things to have, and um, things to barter with. They're good things to if you know how to make something by hand, and it's a good quality or the best you can, you know, for you. You could use it to manual for solar are the best. Yes, manual and solar ones are the best. But
Yeah, manual,
you
like
know,
like you see in the movies and TV shows. You get your buddy or a family member to hop on that bicycle, ride that sucker for about an hour, and charge up your batteries that way.
yeah,
Soylent Green. This
some
is really good. One.
some of the tools they do come with their own solar panels right on them. I don't know which ones they are anymore, but I'm pretty sure the company is gonna because people are gonna go, hey, after a while they're gonna go, well, if we keep buying these things, we're gonna end up with a bunch of paperweights. So they're gonna want to make sure they've got you know alternative ways to use the batteries or whatever. And the manual ones, here's the ticket I like about the manual ones. We can use our manual tools and we don't have to wait until 9 o'clock so we don't disturb the neighbors because they can't hear a handsaw going. You know, they can't hear a hand jigsaw going or
There's your
whatever,
chainsaw.
a screwdriver. But they can hear your hammer nailing. But
Oh yeah,
that's not as bad as it could be, you know. So those
yeah.
are
20
things.
20 ppm is really good. You just don't want to drink too much of that all at once. Is what I mean. Yeah. Drink maybe like a shot glass of that, or half a shot glass, and you'll be all right. Because that's 20 ppm. That's a lot of silver.
I have to get us some silver. Have I been talking to myself all this time?
What do you mean? What?
Try this again. There.
All right. Are you okay there, Jason?
What?
You okay there? You all right?
No, hold on. I gotta. You take over and keep talking. I'll be right back. Okay?
All right. But yeah, I mean, you need pretty much. Well, I mean, Vex gave you a link. It's probably a really good link because we've gone over how to make pretty much silver. You can grow silver at home with silver. I think yeah, silver nitrate. Uh, there's several ways. There's one where they use a graphene block, or graphite block with copper lines running to it. And then there's other ways where you just use a brine. They call it a brine, but it's just pretty much silver nitrate and silver shot, and two electrical nodes running to the little basket that's barely in the brine. A stainless steel ball. I mean, to me, that was the simplest way. They used silver shot, which was a combination of copper because copper gathers up or sucks up the silver particles. So when they melt down that copper sheet with the silver particles, now you have silver shot with copper in it. And that's fine anyways, because I mean our bodies need copper as well. It's just as essential as water or food. Yeah, there's a lot of neat ways where they make silver at home, and I mean that one dude that used a stainless steel bowl to grow his silver or to do his silver thing is he pretty much produced 50 plus pounds of silver, and at that
Dang.
time silver was maybe $22 an ounce, so he made some good money. I mean that's pretty good money. I mean money wise, that's pretty good. But if you let your silver go longer in the process, it turns into medicinal silver. 0.9999 silver. The four nines after the decimal. That's medical silver. So that's what you use for your silver salt, your wound gel, like what Alex Jones or other companies do. Their silver wound gel, developed by DARPA, the military. Um, yeah, that's your medicinal silver. Your 0.999 silver is somewhat the same, but that's just pure silver, the monetary silver. But it's pretty much just the same when you break it down. But if you're looking into the silver salt, medicinal silver, yeah, you want to make it go as far to 0.9999 silver. That's your medicinal, your medical silver.
Yeah, I learn a lot from God's night. Okay,
Just
sweetie.
do my
I'll check it
research.
real quick.
Whatever interests me, I look into it too. So I learn how to do it myself or have the knowledge to do it myself.
Let's see, what is this?
Yeah, like we're talking about before, there's a lot of stuff in your yards, especially if you live in the suburbs or the urban areas. Anything that's pretty much that's considered a weed. I mean, way back then was considered food or medicine that just grew in your yard. The whole indoctrination thing is now that, oh, everybody has to have a perfect, nice, flat, green yard with no weeds. So they're just pretty much telling you that everything from nature is bad. That you have to get everything from a pill, from a white coat, and from the store. You have to buy everything from the store.
Thank you, off the wall prepper.
Is she
Did
funny?
that
we got a
analogy thing?
we got a kick out of that one.
That's funny.
Oh, funny. But yeah, I learn a lot from God's night and Vex on silver and stuff, you know. Things I need to and even off the wall prepper, things I still have to get on my honeydew list. Okay? Only my honeydew list don't it's getting smaller in some aspects, isn't it, God's night? But at the same time, it's growing in other aspects. So
Yeah, another thing that we haven't talked about, but ammunition. And I'm not just talking about bullets. I'm talking about arrows, ball bearings, rocks. Whatever can be used as a projectile is useful. You got your own little homegrown.
wooden
It's not
balls.
called, yeah, anything. Uh, Even ice bottles. Like Antifa uses. I don't remember what they're called, but they're not called catapults. It's the smaller version. Yeah, the ones they used to use for their town walls or city walls. Their fortified wall cities. They weren't the big catapults. They were stationary ones, and I can't remember what they're called. They're not called catapults. They had another name. But anyways, you can make some of those. You can make larger slings. Whatever could be used as a projectile. Knives. It's good to have
You can
what you
even
need
make
for
spears out
other
of
things.
broomsticks. You
Yep.
know, the long broomsticks. Put a spear head on it, wrap it
And,
good,
and another
and
thing
make
that
sure it's
GT and I
balanced. You're good to
talking
go.
about is stuff for bartering. See, another reason why, I mean, I don't like giving it labels either, but when you prep or prepare as a lifestyle or for yourself for survival, uh, get enough not just for you, but maybe you need to trade or barter. And if
Yeah.
someone needs what you have, and they may know someone or they may have what you need, Well, there you go. You can give up something for something else because that's what it's going to come down to.
And not only that, when you do a barter, one, you want to make sure you're being fair and honest with another person,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
that person needs to make sure that they're being fair and honest with you. Okay, because if they don't, whoever it is that's not doing a fair deal, they're going to end up, their name's going to get known. It's going to be mud, and nobody's going to want to do business with them. Okay, two, and you want to be very patient because you have something, and off the wall prepper has something, and I want to get what off the wall prepper has, but I don't have what he needs. Well, then I have to find somebody and keep going until I find the person that's got, and along the way, I gotta keep in mind what all these other people want to get him what he wants so I can get what I want, you
No,
know.
not a ballista, Vince.
And
Not a ballista.
sometimes it takes time. So you gotta be patient. But
It's a
yeah.
small. It's a smaller catapult. That's stationary. I just can't remember the name of it. It had a different name. The Italians are the ones that designed it, so I can't remember the name. It had a weird name.
Well, I don't speak Italian, so I'm not any good of help on that one.
Well, the Italians engineered it, but it has different names. You know. In English, it has a weird name. That's why I can't remember what it's called.
Smaller catapult.
And then I think the French used it a lot. They made it pretty famous. I think. Oh yeah, the trebuchet, trebuchet, the trebuchet, not catapult, trebuchet. Trebuchet.
Yes, it's Trebuchet. I know because I wanted to find out the answer, so I looked it up quick. And there are like many different types of catapults.
Yeah, they all had different names, different purposes, different uses.
Uh huh.
Some of them were just left on the battlefield because they couldn't move them anymore.
Some of them are so big they had to have the wooden wheels,
Yep.
you know.
Yeah, some
And
were like spring loaded, some were gravity propelled. With the like a crude spring mechanism that you wound them back.
they would wind the string back and then let it go, and it just and go towards the.
I mean, they also made flechettes, which shot like 100 arrows at once. It's like a small ballista, but I think it's called a flechette.
Atlatl and the launcher. Those are real long arrows,
Yeah,
and you can sell them. People use them for when they go hunting
perfect.
and taking down animals, you know. And that's another thing. Even like with rabbits, if you kill a rabbit to eat it, don't ruin the pelt on it because with one, two, three, with three rabbit pelts and a thick form of leather, like a thick pig skin, pig leather for the sole, you can make a pair of mucklucks in one. The three rabbits will do one, you know. and then you take and you put the lining on the. You want to hook it onto the leather, turn it inside out, hook it onto the leather, and you'll have your winter boots. And you can make them all by hand, and you can use the new. So it's a real good um it's a real good thing, you know. So we're just trying to give you helpful suggestions, things to think about, things you can learn about, things that you can do, and don't necessarily have to cost you an arm and four legs. You know, you can grow your food in your garden, you can dehydrate it, you can crush it up to powder, takes up less room. Dehydrated food does, you don't have to worry about refrigeration, you know, and um a little bit of water and you rehydrate it, but the powders you can use those to make anything you want, you know. The dehydrated food, you have to use a little bit of water. I'm gonna tell you something. If you had a roast, you put the roast in the oven and you put your tomatoes on there. The steam from the roast water, the juices, will rehydrate them tomatoes for you. You know, the green peppers and your onions. And so you wouldn't know that that wasn't any different than what the roast was that you got at the store, and cut up the tomatoes, put them on there with the onions and the green bells, and you're good to go. You know, but there's lots of ways that you can get prepared and it not cost you arm and leg, because I don't have a lot of money. I'm not rich, and I don't hide it. You know, but I do with what I have, and you'd be surprised how fast you can get stocked up that way too. So I like taking and grinding up zucchinis, and then I dehydrate the meat part of it, and then I take and, oh honey, it's okay. One of these times we'll get you and Mrs. Dragonfly on here, and we'll all be rocking it, okay? Like I said, the door is always open for you guys. You know, you can come on anytime you want, anytime you have free time. Um, because not too many people do shows at this time of day on a Sunday, you know, and there's a lot to prepping. There's things to learn and things to do. It's a good thing, you know, and it's good that we get the information out and teach each other, learn from each other, you know.
Yeah, most
And thank
definitely.
you for being on with us, off the wall prepper. I appreciate it. And yes, I already checked out your picture thing. That was funny. But and I know Mrs. Dragonfly. She's a beautiful lady, you know. So
It's very appreciated. Very appreciated.
she has to be sexy and good looking. She's got a husband like you know. You got each other's backs, and that's a good thing. So I just, we're trying to keep everybody inspired. We're trying to lift people up, give them hope, because you can't lose faith and you can't lose hope, because if you lose those things, we're all in trouble, you know. And things can get a lot harder before they get better.
Especially if you're building bridges with people. You don't want to burn that bridge. You don't ever want to burn bridges. Especially if like especially if you're saying, "Oh man, this guy's so cool. He's a good guy." Blah blah blah. You end up building a friendship off that bridge, and then one simple stupid mistake, and that bridge is gone.
Oh yeah. Um, George, his YouTube channel is this one right here. Okay, let me see here. I know this link works because it's my link that I use when I go to his page and watch his videos. Yes, Mr. Off the Wall Prepper, we're sharing your link for you. And his lovely wife's link um, is this one, Mrs. Dragonfly. And that's why I call her Mrs. because she's a married lady. And she's a pretty married little lady, you know. So that
Be
one
right
there
back. I'll go
works too.
check on my coffee. I'll be right back.
It's okay, Vex. You're not in trouble, hon. You do a wonderful job. But yeah, we've been on for an hour and 16 minutes. Ooh. Hers don't come up. Oh my goodness gracious. Well, shucks. Here, Mr. Dragonfly, I'm going to be mean to you. You are now blue. How do you like them? So now you can put your wife's little link in there. All you want. Because I didn't mean to be putting in the wrong link. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's the link I put in there. That's the one that I'm subscribed to. I put in the right channel for your wife. I wouldn't put in the wrong one. It's kind of sad if I put in the wrong one because I follow both of you. So, anyhow, God's night, should we call it a wrap? Or would you like to continue for a little while? Oh, God's night, I'm here by myself. Oh, cool. Let's see, what kind of trouble can I get into? Yes, Bex, that's the right link. Um, she's a sweetheart too.
All right.
Off the wall prepper's wife is. Would you like to keep talking for a little bit, or would you like to wrap it up front now?
It's up to you, JT. It's your show.
I
I
know.
don't mind. I don't mind either way.
Yeah, Vex, it's always good to double check, sweetie. And no, George, God's night didn't fall asleep. I know him a lot better than that one.
Yeah, I just said I was gonna go check on my coffee. I don't know if y'all heard me or not.
Right.
It's just coffee. Sheesh.
Coffee doesn't put you to sleep. It grows hair on your toenails and your chest, but it don't put you to sleep.
Yeah, it relaxes me, but yeah, it doesn't put me to sleep.
You like talking to yourself on your live chats?
Now I'm getting a hard.
Christy.
Time ago.
Now I'm getting guff out of the peanut gallery from the other
I
room.
know. I hear her. She's all laughing like she's
Yeah.
mad.
Now she's just she's giving me a hard time. She's like, "Do you like talking to yourself on your live show?" Yeah, I
Yeah,
do. But
because you're like,
yeah,
wait, what? Am I talking to myself? I was like, what are you talking about, JT?
well, you were gone from, and I forgot you went to go get coffee. Oh well, go ahead. It's time to make fun of JT. I don't care. I can handle it. I'm a
You're the
big girl.
you're
Okay,
the
I'm not a.
personality.
I'm a little girl, but I can pull up my girly pants.
You're the personality is already doing it anyways, right?
Yeah, and the other personality and the other body is in the other room, so we're good. You know. But yeah, there's it's like solar lights. Um, you can get them. They don't cost that much, and you can get the kind that you can take the solar panel off from the light. You gotta have it attached to the light, but you can take the solar panel off from the light, put it in a window, charge it. You don't have to take your light back down to do this either. Leave your light where you got it. Put the panel in the window during daytime, charge it up. And then at night, after you charge it for a couple hours, hook it back up. You got nighttime lights. You know, I come up with some really good things. And when you start using solar stuff, your light bill's gonna start diving. You know, and I know it's hard for some people to think that, but if you um, watch your pennies, you can get this kind of stuff, and it doesn't always have to cost a lot of money. So I'm not telling you you have to get them. I'm telling you, if you want them, you can save up and get them. You know,
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Do you want that brand new computer or TV screen, or do you want additional extra food that's gonna, save your life one day, uh, or like your water filtration out of buckets? I mean, which would you rather have? Water filtration or a brand new TV or a brand new pair of shoes or a watch?
right? And I'm gonna tell you something. You know, video games. Well, when there's no electricity, guess what? Unless your mom and your daddy's got a big enough solar panel or a solar generator, that video game is going to become a paperweight. Okay? So, because the priorities will change, and they will change fast.
Yep.
There won't be no
Drastically.
going out to the restaurants to eat because the restaurants won't be open. You know, there won't be going to the store to buy a pair of $100 shoes. You're gonna have to take care of the shoes you got so that they can last while you're making your new shoes.
And
Not
if those
buying,
restaurants,
making.
JT, if those restaurants are still open, then they just may be serving you human hamburger patties or you know human steaks.
Yeah, gross stuff.
Yep.
Stuff we're not to eat, but you know, um, let's see what else there's not. Oh, um, da-da-da, dehydrating. Battery chargers for your rechargeable batteries. You can get solar battery chargers. You know, for things that you have to have batteries for to use. And when I say solar battery chargers, they'll do your A's, your double A's, your B's, your C's, your D's, and the 9 volts. You only get to charge two of them at a time. Two of each of those kinds of batteries at a time. But what else are you gonna do if you don't have them? Yeah, trickle chargers. In fact, um, the night and the Pexus or Paxus solar generators, they have a safety mechanism when they get fully charged. If you don't like for the Paxus, if you don't disconnect it when it's fully charged, you don't have to the King, but they do have a trickle charger in them so that it keeps you from blowing up the batteries in them. You know, uh, ways to purify your water. Like I said, yeah, the Berkey shiny cover, they look cool sitting on cupboards. But you know what? If you ain't got the money and you can afford to get two filters in a spigot, and you got two plastic buckets and lids, and they're uh, food safe, you can make your own water filtration system. And oh, it's portable. It's not hooked up to your sink. So if you needed to go down to the river to get water, or you need to leave to go someplace, you could take your water purification system with you. You know, so you would always have water. Because a lot of the stuff I do, and I don't pay a lot of money for it, but I do have to save up my money for some of the things I need. And it's been years, a lot of years since we've went out to eat because the prices got too high. And no, I'm not boo-hooing because it don't do any good. It ain't gonna make anything change in this country. You
Exactly.
know, I'm just saying sometimes you gotta, like God's night said, you gotta give and take. You know, which is more important to be able to play a video game or to be able to have lights in your house. Oh, that's okay, Mrs. Dragonfly. It's okay that you had to take dogs out. You come back. Yeah, your link works too for me because I went right to your page and I stole it. And I put your name with it, so when I put it in there, yeah, they know whose it is. It's just like off the wallpapers. When I put his link in there, they know whose this, you know? So, and we'll get even more people. Um, I don't really worry, and God's night knows it, because usually people will view after we're done, you know, which is okay. It's a good thing. So, we're laid back, easygoing people around this place. It don't do any good to get upset, does it, God's night?
Save the drama for your baby's mama.
Or the baby's daddy, whichever likes drama better.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty much laid back here. Easy going. No BS.
It's just, how we are. But we try to lift people up. We try to give in a positive. We try making people feel better. If they're down in the dumps, we'll give them a hand up. We'll try to lift them up and encourage them. Not, um, we try to give each other information and teach each other and learn from each other and all that good stuff because none of us have all the answers, but sometimes we can all get together and figure out a problem, you know. And when we get done, go, gee, I never thought of it that way. I didn't know that worked, you know. You're welcome, Mrs. Dragonfly. So, yeah, is that's a pretty good thing. That I like doing the things the way we do them around here. Um, we might be small, but we do have a powerful message and a lot of good information, you know. So,
Yeah, that's like we talk about. Most of us here, and then I mean, off the wall said it just the same as we speak about. And the way we think is one mind at a time, one person at a time. You can't get everybody at once. It's impossible
right.
because people, well, like me and Vex talk about, you got to approach people individually. You can't just like in a classroom setting, and one size fits all blanket. All students is the same, and that right there does not work either because
No,
students are not all the same. They're all individual. They're
right.
all individuals. They're all single minds. Each mind is different. You can't treat them all
Each,
the same.
and each mind learns different too.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, that's why, we try making stuff. And the reason I put that my stuff on my videos on my channel are not kid friendly is because I have cooking and candy making stuff, and I really don't want little Bobby or little Sally Sue going, okay, mommy and daddy's in the other room sleeping. I'm hungry and I'd like some candy or I'd like some cookies, and they try making the stuff and they get hurt. I would feel really, really bad
In the
if
house
a
now.
child got hurt because they watch one of my videos. That's why I always put my videos are not for kids.
Yeah.
It's my way of trying to protect children from being hurt, you know. And parents or grandparents, whoever that they live with, I hope that they will supervise and help them, you know, so that little Bobby or little Sally Sue doesn't try making something on their own. You know, it's that's another thing when things get bad. People are always gonna want candy. Okay, just saying, and they're gonna want sweets. Okay, you know, so yeah, your family's gonna want them sweets too and them candies too. But you can make some for you, and then you can make some and barter with them too.
Yeah. Everything. Anything's gonna be a barter.
Yep,
Coffee, sugar, butter, anything that is a commodity or condiment of some kind as well. Food is gonna
and
be more than gold. I mean, like ammunition, medicine. People that can't have access to anymore. You can't go to the store for. That's all going to be currency. Something to barter with.
yeah, and another thing is there's gonna be those that thought it was all a joke, and they're gonna want what somebody that has. They're not gonna just settle for a little bit. They're not gonna really be willing to work for it either. They're just gonna want to take, and
Mhm.
so you gotta watch out for those kind of people. I'm not saying everybody, um, but some of them will because that's their mentality. They got away with it before. Why wouldn't it work now? You know, or their attitude is, well, I didn't, but hey, you know, um, you'll give it to me because it's your privilege to give to me. I've known parents that had that same attitude. It's my child, but it's a privilege, your privilege to take care of my child so I don't have to have responsibility. Well, sorry, but they should have thought about that before they had Junior, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. Some people tend to forget that the kings and queens aren't shit without that seamstress, without that chef, without that guard, without that teacher. I mean, the people in charge are nothing without the people who are actually doing the real work, making clothes, cooking food, making jewelry. All those people are more important than a king or a queen or a president or a prime minister because they your everyday average blue collar person has more skills and more knowledge than a politician will ever have. I mean, can you put food on the table with politics? Can you feed your family with politics if it came down to where it's not making anything for you? It's not making money. It's not bringing nothing home. It's useless. It's a useless skill.
Well, anybody brings a politic home to my house, they're likely not going to want to hear or see the welcoming that they don't get. I mean, they get. Okay.
Well, yeah, because what I'm saying is, okay, you got two people, right? You have a guy that was a mayor for a city, and you have, I don't know, a nurse. I would take that nurse over that politician any day.
Oh, heck yeah. Oh, heck
It's
yeah.
like, later, suit, I don't need you. This nurse right here, it's she's or she or he's essential. I mean, I need their skills. Your skills, worthless.
They're priceless. The nurse
Right?
and a doctor, they're priceless. I'm sorry, but the politician, no, you can go. So, yeah, Vex, don't trade your ammo because you could need it, you know. But
Yeah, I would only go with ammo if I needed something that I couldn't get my hands on with conventional items. Because I mean, ammo is going to be something that it's finite and it's going to be something worth more than anything else, really.
right, yeah, I know a lot of nurses, and I know a lot of them that were LPNs and RNs and CPNs.
Yeah, even just a regular caregiver
Yeah,
be better
even
than.
even George would be better than a politician, and he was a
Exactly.
caregiver.
That's
He
what I'm
took
saying.
care of his mom. So yeah,
You know, another example is you have a dodgeball team, right? The last two people left is your debate captain or president of the debate team, and a skateboard guy. You know, a guy who plays on a skateboard. I'll take the skateboarder over that debate guy any day.
oh yeah, because that skateboarder, he ain't gonna be a lazy.
Yeah,
People
or a
might think
pussy.
they're gonna be, but they ain't gonna be. And not only that, they'll show you how to use those skateboards in ways you ain't thought of. You know, and it's just amazing. Because a lot of people take things for granted so bad right now, but it won't be long, and a lot more people are gonna wake up when it's knocking right at their door, and that could happen a lot sooner than what they think.
Oh yeah, definitely. Exactly. I've been saying that for a while now.
Hey, God's night. I gotta do
Yes.
this. I gotta do this to Vex, okay? And Vex, I mean in a joking way. Do not get upset over it. But Vex is swearing. He said politicians and them lawyers. Them lawyers. Those are two dirty words.
Yeah.
Just joking.
He said the P word and the L word
Yeah, you know. Oh, that's dangerous.
in one sentence. Yeah, that's not bueno.
Is that what can I be that little old lady, that says, "Oh, that's offensive." When it came to the middle finger, you know, the reason the middle finger came about was back in the Victorian times or medieval times when they had the archery championships. Um, the cricket guys, the dirty deeds, the dirty dodgers of it, they would take their champion or their competition that could beat them, and they would cut off their middle finger. Okay, and so the other guys that was in the competition, if they had their middle finger, they'd stick it up and they would show it to them. I've still got my finger. You didn't cut mine off. I'm going to beat your butt, kind of a deal. All right. Well, um, the Native Americans,
Shit.
they pinched their arrows so they don't, um, there's no middle finger that's bad, and on your hand, you show me what finger it is that God made on your hand that's bad. So, a lot of people don't realize this. Well, there was an old lady someplace, and, because the competitors, the good guys showing the cricket guys that they still had their middle finger, some old lady someplace went, "Oh, that offends me." Well, ever since then, that's why you've been told that middle finger is supposed to be a bad finger. Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know.
taking offense and being triggered is ancient stuff. It's not new. Microaggressions and stuff that's not new stuff. That's all old stuff.
Yeah, and not only that, in my house, middle finger don't mean nothing. It's just another finger
Right.
God gave you to
So
be able to use. And that's all it is.
it's just the context of stuff.
So, Vex, would you like to come on with us and talk for a little bit? A simple yes or no.
I think he's too busy using his middle fingers right now. He actually types with his middle fingers. That's all he uses to type with.
He's what?
Vex only uses his middle fingers to do things with, especially typing. His left middle finger is politician, and his right middle finger is lawyer.
Okay, Vex. You can't say we weren't going to let you, you know. 'Cause I know you know a lot of things too about herbs and stuff, you know. But that's okay. It's like, I've been teaching the young ones around here about foraging, and different ways that's foraging and different things to forage for. So when we need to do this or that, they're right there, they're helping. They have no problems. And that's a good thing, you know. So should we wrap this up, God's night? Because we've been on for a while.
Sure. Yeah, it's fine with me, JT.
And
It's your call.
y'all have a good week. Keep positive. Keep the faith in whatever your God is. And we'll talk with you soon. God bless you.
Later, JT. Later, everybody.